All right, this is Brian Jenkins leading the speed round here. The focus of today is we're going to be talking about the RunSignup and GiveSignup platform and some of the best tips, tricks, and some of the best technology we have to offer. This is going to be very fast paced, so definitely take your notes. So here's a few housekeeping items. You have the ability to minimize or maximize your control panel using the arrow button in the upper left-hand corner. We do have a questions box in the GoToWebinar interface that you can use to submit questions. If we aren't able to get to your question, we will follow up with you. And then we do record all of these webinars, and our intention is to try to get that out to you with a recording, the slides, and any relevant links within 24 to 48 hours. And then if you feel like you need additional assistance after that, you can definitely set up one-on-one opportunities. So a few of the next upcoming webinars that we have is we have one on race day tools on Tuesday, February 1st. Our race trends, if you've never seen our race trends before, it's an incredible report that shows what happened in the year of 2021 in the endurance registrations. And then on February 9th, we're going to be going over managing event volunteers. So there's me and there's my daughter Lainey. So I'm the sales lead here at RunSignup and also lead speed round presenter. So today we're going to talk about managing your race. We're going to talk about registrations. We're going to talk about topics. Oh no, these are all just say topics, Johanna. So we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. It's going to be fun. So who are we? We are GiveSignup, RunSignup. We were founded in 2010. We currently support over 25,000 events and 10,000 nonprofits, and we've helped raise $1.3 billion. And our goal is to partner with you to help you grow your supporter base. So managing your race. So how do you navigate your dashboard, and what are different ways that you can access your race? So one of the things that we get questions about quite a bit is that the RunSignup company, we own a bunch of different brands, from RunSignup to TrySignup to BikeSignup to Adventure Signup, Ski Signup, Paddle Signup, Adventure Signup. If you have a login with RunSignup or GiveSignup, that login works on all these other domains. So we call that single sign-on. The next one, and if you don't remember anything else from this presentation, this is the number one thing. We have a lot of information in the site, and there's two ways to quickly access information. On the left-hand side, you see the ability to search by name, bib, or email. So if you have a participant that sends an email that says, my t-shirt is wrong, and that's all you get from them, you could drop in that email address into that search bar and see if that participant has registered for your event, and then maybe help them out with that vague t-shirt question. On the right-hand side, we have the race dashboard and you have the menu search. So let's say I was looking to set up coupons, something like that. I could quickly search in that box, find the coupons section, and click on it and get to my adding my coupons very quickly. So you don't need to necessarily know every navigation point in our system. We also realize that there's a lot of information in the dashboard. If you're a newer user to our platform, we've actually started hiding some of the additional menu items, so it's a little bit easier process to manage your event. If you decide that you'd like to have a full menu, you can expand your menu and unhide some of those items, or pick the particular items that you'd like to have showing up so that you don't overwhelm yourself with too much information you don't necessarily need. So renewing your race. One of the biggest benefits of the RunSignup, GiveSignup platform is the ability to renew your registration event. And when you go through this process, you have the ability to very granularly pick the items that you would like to do on renewing your event. So what's really cool about this is that your URL stays the same. If you work with us for a decade, that URL stays the same, and you just renew the event, and we bring over all those settings that you configured in the previous year. And if you have particular settings that you don't want to cover in the renewal process, you can unselect them in the renewal process. One other thing is that you'll notice kind of in the bottom left here, it says your race has passed. We definitely don't want you to edit your race and change your dates to the next year. We want you to renew your race. And the reason for that is for better reporting and better email functionality, because we have it categorized by occurrence or year of the event. So one of the other really nice things that we do in the top right-hand corner, you'll see your current signups number, and then you can click that down arrow and it expands out your data, so you can see your current number of registrations versus your previous year, and then we compare with number of days remaining. This is particularly helpful if you're moving your event by 1 to 2 weeks or 3 weeks. or in some cases in the pandemic, 6 months, you can still kind of do some comparisons with number of days remaining, how you're trending for registration. So we also offer under race websites and miscellaneous settings. Not every single event we work with wants to use the nomenclature of race. You may be doing a golf tournament, you may be doing a mud run, you may be doing a swim, etc. You can actually change that wording and it will update it across the platform. So when people are seeing information, it's no longer race information, it's swim info. So this is a really great way to customize your event and maximize the use of our platform. So hybrid events, something that we've had a lot of success with over the past year is the ability to have the in-person 5K as well as the virtual option for the 5K, and the ability for your participants to register in a single race and have the option to sign up for the 5K or virtual 5K and not have to set up 2 races in our platform. So registration. So you can go through and collect the information that you need from our platform. So one of the really nice things that we offer is we have a category called standard questions. If you check these 3 boxes, it will automatically configure emergency contact name, emergency contact phone number, and that they can sign up for text updates from the race. So there are text updates are a great way if you had a thunderstorm or something that would, impair participants' ability to participate, such as severe weather or something like that. You could send a text message out on the day of the event to let people know that there's a weather situation. So giveaway description. A large percentage of our events offer a free t-shirt as part of their registration. You can go in and upload an image. You can add a description. You can add a cutoff date, so you can't get a t-shirt after this date. And you also can set the taxability of the item. So there's a bunch of really nice options within here. Personally, I love to see pictures of the shirt so I know what I'm getting as part of my registration. So shipping address, more and more events are, especially larger events, are shipping items to participants, or if you have a virtual event, you're shipping items to participants. So we have some configuration options that you can turn on to make sure that you're collecting a valid shipping address. We have an integration with the US Postal Service to make sure that this is in fact a valid shipping address. And you also can set it so that you're only asking for that in particular events. In this example, you can see that it's specific to the virtual 5K. One thing, there's probably a couple people in this meeting that's pretty excited about this, is that we now support multiple waivers. So if for whatever reason you needed to have multiple waivers, maybe you needed one for your venue and one for your organization, you could set that up in our platform and participants can agree to multiple waivers in a single registration process. Flexible gender options. So this is something that we now support in the Race Wizard. You have the ability to turn this on for your events. So if you want to turn this on, this allows people during the registration process to have the ability to select male, female, or non-binary. Participants also have the ability in their RunSignup, GiveSignup profile to be able to edit that profile and select the gender that they would like to have. So participant display, there's quite a bit of options within here. Just make sure that you're being very careful about what you're disabling, because there is more than one time I've had phone calls where someone has disabled finishing time. So your timer has uploaded the results into the system, but you disabled finishing time. So now your participants can't see that. So just be really careful about the data that you're disabling on the participant list. So event highlight, this is one of the features that we really enjoy on our internal teams when we're configuring events ourselves, is that you can see how it makes a nice little ribbon at the top of the events page. So this allows you to highlight certain value adds or certain reasons why someone should register for a particular event. So you can then kind of put a custom text box that will then show up right above the event, and also during the registration process, you can see some of the options in here: run, walk, stroll to a 5K. Hopefully not many of you need this option anymore, but we still do support the postpone or cancel. And if you enable this, this creates a pop-up on your event that allows the participants who are in the race to then make selections, and you'll have a very easy to understand report of how many people want to stay in the race, how many people want to switch to virtual, how many say, hey, you can keep my registration fee or want a refund. And again, you can configure those options to whatever options you want to offer. So event transfers. Within our platform, you can enable event transfers. So say I sign up for the half marathon and I want to transfer to the 5K. if you enable this, you can set rules of what the cutoff date is, if there's a fee to transfer, and then I can go into my profile and transfer my registration as long as it's not past the cutoff date. And if there's a difference in price, I do have to pay the difference in price, or I have to pay the transfer processing fee if that's something that's been configured. So fast registration by date, this is something that's really picked up over the past 2 years. You have the ability to enable fast registration. So say the last 2 days leading up to the event, anyone who hits your page and starts registering, you can skip certain fields and make it so that it's a very quick and easy registration process. We also, if there's anybody on here that is going to appreciate this, allow you to enable age instead of date of birth for those last day or two. And again, this would be, in place of maybe potentially having paper registrations or kiosks, things like that. This is another option that you have to allow people to continue to register without having to close registration. We also support detecting just mobile, and we also have a special URL for fast registration. We do support, if your event is a fast sellout or offers fundraising, we do support the ability to store a credit card and the ability to edit the credit card inside of their profile. So vouchers, vouchers are a great option for people who want to, it's kind of like a gift card. So if you think of vouchers as gift cards, that's the easiest way to do that. So if you need to give someone a credit, you can just give someone a voucher for a certain amount of money. And the nice thing is about these vouchers is that, let's say they get $100 in voucher credit, and you put on 5 races, they could split up that money however they choose across the events. So websites, we are really proud and happy to be able to help as many races as they would like to utilize our platform to have free websites. I think now we have over 3,000 domains mapped to our system because we think this is a way that we can continue to value add for our customers. So we support the ability for you to map your domain. So in this example, the Scott Coffee Run. So you can go to scottcoffeerun.com. That is completely hosted for free by RunSignup. We also support subdomains such as run.scottcoffeerun.com or race.scottcoffeerun or register. So you can set up subdomains as well. One of the things that we do support as well is the ability to hide and organize custom content. So as you add additional custom content, you can make it so that those pages are hidden. You're going to see quite a bit of updates with our website capabilities over the next couple months, where you're going to be able to set pages into draft mode or set certain dates for pages to go live. So we are continuing to expand and add additional functionality around our custom contents and website capabilities. So you will see here under the expand more option, these are kind of the sub pages underneath there. So you can set it so that what pages are showing up under the more. You can also play around with your layout, social media, and custom content. One of the things that we highly encourage is adding an FAQ. So what we recommend with FAQs is if you commonly get people asking about how do I resend my confirmation email, how do I reset my password, these are all things that you can link to, that we have documentation on our platform so that people can then self-serve and get the information they need or resend their confirmation email, whatever they need to do. You can add that to your page and then just link to our help documentation. So cover page, I like to call this the poster. So back in the 80s and 90s when I was running races, a lot of times you would look at it and see that there was a poster up at the local park promoting the event. And today all that is digital. So you can set up a cover page and that's going to act as your digital poster when someone lands on your page. So you really want to think about this. How do I make it very visually attractive? How do I highlight my sponsors? How do I add buttons that people want to click on to learn more information? So here's some examples of some cover pages. I really like the Liberty Road Challenge. I think the way that they've used the event tiles and the color palette is really, really great. And it looks really sharp, and all this stuff looks really good on mobile. So some of the features within our cover page components is that you can add 2 columns of data or images here. So you can see how on the left-hand side there's an image, and then on the right-hand side there's some text and a button. You can do that very easily through the cover page. We also support countdown clocks. So you just turn this on and now you have a countdown clock right on your cover page. Additional examples here is you have more information, become a sponsor, volunteer, you can add custom actions that then go to specific pages within your site right on the cover page. Components, one of the easiest things to do is if you have a YouTube video that highlights your event, you just plug that right in, put in the YouTube video ID, and boom, now you have a video on your homepage. If you are a donation or fundraising driven event, we have a data component that you can suck in the amount of donations. So you can see in this example, they've got $38,863. Their goal is $300,000. So it's a dynamic thermometer that updates in real time. We also support, if you're doing a virtual challenge, the ability to have the challenge data automatically showing up on your cover page in real time. So as people are logging their challenge mileage or catnaps, that'll automatically show up on the cover page. We also support the ability to have dynamic challenge goals. So in this case, they're trying to run across the country as many times as they can during the challenge period, and that's accumulating the group's efforts, and that again is dynamically updating on the homepage. So we support cover page components where you can see, like here, there's a 13 miles, which is of lap 1. So they completed 13 miles. Their goal is 1,000. They got 987 miles to go. And then they've got a button here to submit their results to be part of the challenge. Another really neat component is the price increase pieces. So you can have, you can let our system automatically knows when you're going to have your next price increase. So in this example, their next price increase is Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. It shows the current price and then lets people know when the next price increase is. So that's all dynamic. So if you have 3, 4, 5 price increases, the system's automatically going to be updating this. You don't have to touch it once you turn this on. So promotion, how do we get more participants? One of my favorite tools is the email capture. So under our email marketing tool, we have an email capture, and there's options there that you can turn on so that if you want to capture someone's email address, and this is particularly important in that most events are only active 6 months of the year. The other 6 months of the year, they're dormant. So you want to be capturing emails all the time because you never know when someone's checking out your page. So kind of the silent salesperson. And then those emails go into a list that you can use to promote your event. So some of the other things that you can do is you can actually edit your own email source code. So if you have a particular styling that you want, we actually support the ability for you to drop in your own HTML code and get the emails looking exactly the way you like. Replacement tags, this is one of our biggest differentiators of our email system, is the ability to send an email with dynamic information specific to that participant. You can use things like the digital bib or the individual results link or the finisher certificate or the ability to log their challenge activity. All of those URLs can be dynamically driven in that email based off their registration. So this is something that would be very difficult to do outside of our platform. And we try to make it really easy so you can have very custom emails that are unique to each participant. Some of the things that we encourage is scheduling pre-race emails to include QR codes if you're using our check-in app, as well as any race day instructions like special places to park or special things to note within the park may have specific rules that they need to follow. So you can schedule this email ahead of time so you've got it all the way you want. You don't have to worry about that email the day before because you know it's already scheduled in our system with the information they need. Some of the other really nice things that we do is allow you to easily target participants. So in this example, they're showing, add current participants, but one of my favorite things to do is to exclude current participants and target past participants and then schedule that email. So it's going to dynamically check as people register. So the current registrants won't be continuing to get that promotional email. If you have a more complex event or if you're doing fundraising, I do recommend considering our registration follow-up email. So you can set it so that one day after someone registers and then 7 days after someone registers, you can give them information. This is popular as well with team events, is they can send out this email with all the instructions they need and it'll come one day directly after they register for the event. So it's dynamic in nature in that not everybody's going to register on the same day. And you can also highlight things like, here's your fundraising page, here's your best practices for promoting your fundraising page to your friends and family. We do support the integration with MailChimp. So you go into our promotion and then MailChimp section, and you'll just make sure you have lists set up in MailChimp that we can connect to, and that'll automatically sync over your participants' emails to your MailChimp account. So give me 1 second. I just got to keep sipping on the water here. Okay, we're really excited about this. We just put a blog post about this yesterday. We are in the process of upgrading our email platform. And what does that mean? The number one thing that this means is new templates. These templates look amazing. They're really easy to add things like buttons, custom content, images, videos, etc. There's going to be additional functionality coming where you can do custom list building. We're gonna integrate it with our automated email section. We've got a ton of plans to make email a huge hub for our customers, and it's going to be completely free. So we heard you. We know you don't like our templates. We've got new templates coming out. If you actually look in your race dashboard, you'll see something new called Email Marketing V2. And we're just in process of testing it out, making sure it's working correctly. And you're going to see a truckload of new features coming out with this. So one thing that we do really well and that you can customize if you want is every single person, when you finish checking out on our platform, we gray out the screen and ask them to share on Facebook, Twitter, or email to socially share that they registered for your event. If you want to customize the text or the images that people are socially sharing, you can definitely do that. If you don't, we're automatically taking care of that, at least including your race logo and some basic tests about getting people to join you. So I encourage everyone to go through and register for your own event just to make sure you understand the process, and then check out and you can see how the checkout process looks to your participants and what social sharing looks like. Another really great promotional tool is Teams. So you can set up Teams in our system. And so let's say I want to do a promotion where if you get 10 or more people, you get a $5 refund. So our system is smart enough that you can configure it so once member number 10 joins, all the future members get a $5 discount, and all the earlier registrations get a $5 refund issued through our platform. We don't charge any fee to issue those refunds, and we'll do it automatically. So Teams are a really great way to promote your event. If that's something you've done successfully in the past, this is a great way to add on a financial incentive to Teams. Referral rewards. If anyone has listened to, I've done a number of presentations on referral rewards. I'm a big believer in it. Basic data on this is that the average registration event, about 2% of your participants will socially share, and then a registration will come from those shares. If you offer an incentive, about 7 to 10% of those participants then will more aggressively socially share, and you will get more registrations because of it. So what we generally recommend is, and I'm going to use a lower cost event like $30, is if you have a $30 registration and one of your participants refers 5 of their friends, which is fairly difficult to do, our platform will automatically issue that $30 refund to that participant. On average, the average referral is about 3 registrations. So most of the people are not going to hit the level. So you don't have to worry about the financial consequences too much, because it's an elite group of people that are going to generate 5 registrations to a unique URL that they share. But we take care of all the unique URLs. We take care of all the refunds. All you have to do is configure in our system the referral refunds. So if you're a more advanced marketer, we do support the ability to export either Facebook custom audiences or Google custom audiences. These are great ways to import into these advertising platforms list of your customers and target them specifically, or exclude them specifically. Race Insights, this is one of my favorite tools if I'm putting on an event. So if you're looking at your dashboard for your event, you can click on referral or email or custom, and it shows you where registrations are coming from. Now, not everything on here is perfect because people do weird things, and it's not always going to give the perfect data for you, but you can really see the trends, like if people are coming from Google or if people are coming from a local website like a local track club or something like that. You can see those things inside of our system. So think of this as a very easy to use Google Analytics. Also, if you use our email platform, we will measure how many page views, signups, and transactions that email generated, and you don't have to do a thing. It just does it for you. And the one other thing to note is that this is always looking back the previous 7 days, but you can click a drop down and change that back to 30 days or a custom date range if you choose. One of the tools that we recommend if you're doing more sophisticated advertising is using our referral source tracking. So in a referral source tracking, you can add a custom code or a custom link, and then you would put this link in your Facebook ad, or if a local gym is promoting your event, something like that, you would give them this URL, and this allows you to measure that particular campaign uniquely. You can also put in how much you're spending, and then you can see how many sales that you generated from that and what your ROI is on that. This is not always perfect. I want to kind of say that is that you could, if you see a big burst in registrations and it's not always coming from the referral link, it could be that maybe the way they set up the email, or people are just Googling your event after they saw the promotion. So this isn't like, that means that this maybe was a bad advertisement. If you do actually see registrations, you need to take that into account. So one of the other things that you can do is, if you set up referral source tracking links, you can actually run custom reports in our CRM to tag the list of people who came from these custom source tracking links, which is a really unique way to be able to measure and see how effective your advertising was, as well as who actually came from those advertisements. So you could target them the same way later. Raise more through events. So a simple option that many of our for-profit events have used is the ability at checkout to have a charity partner add a specific donation amount. So this is at checkout, there's a checkbox that says add a $10 donation to support Lifeline of Ohio. So this is something that we recommend if your event typically doesn't have a lot of people who just want to give large amounts. You're kind of presetting the amount that they're giving. They're checking the box, it adds it to their cart, they check out, and off they go. The other neat thing is that this does allow a charity partner, if you don't own the event, to get paid separately from the registrations, and so that neither the race has to deal with these donations, and the charity is getting the funds without having to ask the race for a post-race check. Another thing that is really neat, and not everyone knows that we support this, is fundraising minimums. So if you're a fundraising event, and let's say in this example, they have a $600 fundraising minimum, you can require everyone to become a fundraiser, require everyone to have a $600 fundraising goal, and we also can store their credit card, and if they don't hit their fundraising goal, we can automatically charge their card. And we have reports that show you, who is short of their goal, and you can send them reminders and or eventually charge the registrants if you haven't seen any activity on their fundraising page. We also support Facebook fundraising. So you can plug in your Facebook ID, connect it up so that you can now, all of your fundraising pages have the option to have a synced Facebook fundraising page. So if I donate on Facebook or I donate through the GiveSignup, RunSignup platform, it doesn't matter. It's automatically going to stay in sync. And it's a great way for certain people who are more active on Facebook to be able to generate additional donations. A neat option that we have that I haven't seen a ton of people use is a fundraiser milestones and badges. So these are things that you can configure within the platform. You can have custom images that show up on here. And then you can see kind of a little bit on the right-hand side, the achievements here. I'm going to kind of hover over here, the achievements on the right-hand side that automatically show up on their fundraising page as they hit different levels. Donation discounts. So this is a really cool option. If I donate, in this example, $100 for my half marathon entry, it'll automatically discount my entry by $25. So let's say you have a $25 5K, you could say, hey, if you donate $50, we'll give you a $25 discount, which means they would get a free registration. You can also do this by event. So if you don't want to do this for your kids' race or something like that, you don't have to have it all configured for all events. Race day. So you can have an efficient fun in person as well as virtual events. So we still support the ability for participants to look their name up or look their email and date of birth up and then log their time. We have had millions upon millions of people log their virtual race or virtual challenge. So we've kind of got it down to a science now of making it really easy for people to upload their virtual event results. We also support the ability, if you'd like, to just let people know that they've completed the run, but they don't have to provide a finishing time. We don't require virtual result participants to log in to our platform. They can just put in either their name, email, and last 4 digits of the phone. Our virtual challenge platform, we have live maps. So we've had a ton of really unique events where they're uploading a GPX or KML file from a map system, and then the participants logging their miles, say along the coast of California or coast to coast, etc. And the participant can actually see where they're moving along the virtual map, and it can actually drop their icon on there and see exactly where they are in the country. And we log all of this in real time. One of the more popular options that we've had during the pandemic is digital bibs. So with many events being completely virtual, you have the ability to set up digital bibs so participants can download their bib, and I've actually seen people print them out. But it's fully customizable. You can put sponsors on there, you can put your race logo on there, the participant's name, etc. All those things are configurable. You can add custom components, such as their team name or other components into the platform that's come from their registration. So it can be a relatively dynamic digital bib for them. Another really cool tool that we offer is the ability to build bib labels. So if you wanted to pre-assign bib numbers, which some of our larger events do, you can then pre-assign the bib numbers, generate labels, and put them on the bibs, and our tool will help you get that all organized and put into various Avery compatible label types. I talked about this a little bit earlier. With more and more events trying to use mobile, we do support on-site registration, so you can generate a unique URL and use kiosks, laptops, tablets, or participants can use their phones so that they can go through and register. You can pick the specific fields that you want to skip or collect. You also can restrict certain events to be not available for on-site registration. And also there's a bunch of neat stuff happening in the background, such as like if you have a cap on your event, our on-site registration is checking that in real time. So if you have only 1,000 spots and you're at 990, if you sell 10 more spots, then that event is sold out. So we're seeing more and more events using QR codes at their event. So you can see this example, they've made a quick little sign. You scan that QR code, it automatically takes you to the registration page. We have QR codes inside of our system, but you also can generate your own unique QR codes if you want, and then make it very easy for people to use their phone to register. So if you've never done this before, open your phone's camera, hover over this QR code, focus the camera on the QR code, and then it'll prompt you to either open it via whatever browser you have installed on your phone, and it'll take you directly to the specific URL that's programmed to this QR code. Another option that we offer for on-site registration is enable high contrast. And if you're saying, well, what does high contrast do? It's actually really binary here. So you can see how it's kind of a white background and then a black background here. We get a lot of feedback that there's glare and other things if you're using kiosk computers. So you can use the high contrast or disable the high contrast to fit the settings that you need for that particular day. We now support volunteer check-in within the Race Day check-in app. So if you haven't played around with this is actually super cool. So it allows you, if you're using the GiveSignup, RunSignup volunteer platform, to have a list of your volunteers on your phone, and you can be checking those volunteers in or just see who's signed up to volunteer in our system. So you can auto show the camera on bib assignment. So this is an option within our check-in app. So if you turn this on, the camera is kind of perpetually on, and you can then be scanning the QR codes of the participants who have registered, as well as the QR codes on the bib, and just kind of make it very fast to check participants in, as well as assign bib numbers. Our results system is pretty customizable. So if you're an administrator to the race, whether that's a timer or the race director, there's an edit pencil at the top of results, and that allows you to hide specific fields that you didn't want to necessarily show. Say you didn't want country on there because it's not that relevant. You may not want clock time. All those things are editable and they can be hidden. Doesn't mean they're gone. It just means people cannot see them on the page if they're not an administrator. Finisher certificates, this is something as well that we've seen a lot of uptake in during the pandemic, is the ability for participants to download, share, or print their finisher certificate. So it dynamically pulls in the participant's name, their finishing time, their race logo, and you can add additional things such as sponsors or messaging that you want on that page. And it's really easy to go into our templates and use one of our existing ones, but if you'd like, you can create your own design. We support race day photos. You can actually upload all of your photos into our platform for free. We also support the ability for participants to upload photos from your event for free, and that will show up on their results page, whether that's a virtual race or an in-person race. So RaceJoy is our tracking app, and we came out with a really important update for RaceJoy. We now support SOS alerts, and so this will actually alert your RaceJoy certified timer and you, if you have access and want to be alerted of this, if a participant's having an issue on site. So you can have the system set up so that they can hit the button and they can let people know that, you know, they've got an injury, I've dropped out of the event, etc. And so now you're in the know and could potentially, you know, send out people to help this particular participant out. All right, Johanna, we have made it through all of the slides. How many questions do we have?
We've been answering them kind of throughout. I have a couple that I think would be worthwhile to go over. And if you guys still have questions, you can continue to put them in and we will get to them as we're able to. I think first, does renewing a race erase the previous year's participant list?
So absolutely not. Renewing a race, the best way to think of it is it archives your previous year's data. And so when you go look at the participant data, there's a drop down to change years, and you could go back to last year or the year before that's data. So we're storing it there, but we're just not making it focal since this is the new year. As well as in our email system, when you click the previous participants, we're rolling up all of your previous participants' emails as well. So the best way to think of it is archiving.
The next one is kind of a best practices for a bit of an in-between time. Should we still use registration follow-up emails, or should we only be using the new version 2 email system?
So the registration, the automated emails within our platform will be over the next couple of months moved over to our version 2 email platform. So the answer is it kind of depends. So if your event's later this year, you'll probably be able to just completely use the version 2. I wouldn't overthink it. Like if your event, say, is in April, we probably won't have everything out in time for your event. I would just go ahead and use the automated emails format, because the biggest difference is going to be format and a few other tweaks within there. So I'd go ahead and just use our current automated email system if your event is in the next couple months.
Can you review both the resend confirmation feature and how you would create an FAQ page? Two-parter for you.
So the resend confirmation, so breaking it into pieces, you can add custom sections in the RunSignup race website capability. And one of those custom sections would be, you could link to one of our FAQs or add an FAQ page. And you can also have multiple pages underneath there. So what you would do is go in there and add a custom section or multiple custom sections if you had, I want to edit my registration, I want to resend my confirmation email, etc. You can plug all that stuff in. And then the other option too is linking to the RunSignup profile. And in the profile, it's very, very obvious to a participant once they get into their profile how to resend their confirmation email. And our account management team, whether that's info@RunSignup or if you have a dedicated account manager, can help you get this set up so that, because it's really one of those things that once you set it up one time, that's again the beauty of renewals, is that once you get all these custom content sections added and the menus configured the way you like, when you renew the race, all this information will carry over to next year as well.
What is a good app to measure a virtual race time?
So our biased opinion would be RaceJoy. RaceJoy is our tracking app, so it works for in-person events as well as virtual events, and participants can then use the RaceJoy app to go out and run their virtual, I'm just going to say 5K, and it will automatically detect when they finish the 5K and then submit their time into our virtual results platform. There's certainly others out there, but ours, we're a little biased to that.
Kind of along the same vein there, where in the dashboard do you indicate if you're doing a virtual or an in-person race?
So in the race wizard, when you're setting up your events, so let's say you have an in-person 5K and a virtual 5K, you're going to add two events. One event is called, say, 5K in person, and the other is going to be called virtual 5K. So you'll add two events in the Race Wizard, and in the dropdown of event type, you will select that it's a virtual race / challenge. So by doing that, that enables our virtual results capability by enabling the virtual race and challenge.
Do you need internet for the virtual check-in feature? The check-in app.
So you do not need internet for the check-in app. So what you would want to do is if you knew your site did not have any sort of cellular connection at all, is you'd want to sync the data at home or somewhere where there is Wi-Fi and sync all the participants onto your app and then show up on Race Site and you can check in all the participants. There's definitely some caveats to that in that you would want to have a discussion if your race is timed with your timer about that. But it absolutely will work without an internet connection.
All right, I think I have two more here that I'm going to follow up with individually. They're a little more specific to the actual event that they're working on, but I think that looks like it. So thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. I can't promote this enough. We're going to be coming out with some webinars here on our new email platform over the next few weeks, and I would highly encourage you to come check it out. I think you're going to be super excited with our completely free email platform and some of the new capabilities it has.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.